Excuse my wet hair, I just popped out of the shower. But last night I had the privilege of watching Danny Boyle's return to the very popular zombie franchise movie that kind of revitalized that industry or gave you something completely different with the fast-moving zombies, rage virus, you get it. But this is 28 years later, one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and the legacy sequel to the movie that came out a really long time ago, starring Killian Murphy, 28 days later. Now, I understand we had a sequel in 28 weeks later, like 15 years ago, I think in 2007, which was equally as not as good as 28 days later, but was still pretty good. This is the movie finally completing that trilogy and starting a whole brand new one. And also at the same time, did a really great job at making everybody on the planet interested. We have our box office estimates, and the movie has overperformed. This is doing really well, and my guess is because of the marketing plan and the trailer released for 28 years later a couple months ago, that had the very creepy Boots poetry soundtrack over it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It hyped everybody up for this film, and it definitely hyped me up to watch this movie, even though I would have been excited to see a 28 years later movie regardless. But the trailer did a fantastic job at even getting the casual viewer who might not know 28 days later to come back and check this thing out. So hey, marketing plans for movies, huh? A round of applause. It's about time we finally had somebody actually make a trailer that hyped up their film instead of something buns. So hey, good on ya. But like I said, 28 years later, got everybody hyped. This is also going to be a spoiler review, so I'm gonna get into some things. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers about this movie, I recommend clicking off if you can. I also try to be it's gonna have spoilers. I'm gonna be kind of trying to make it vague, but some things I'm gonna talk about a little bit here. So if you want to go into this fresh and know nothing, I would not watch this, or click a like and skip to the end so YouTube thinks you did watch it. That'd be hype. But I guess. But yeah, this movie, of course, takes place 28 years later after the original movie. It is starring Aaron Taylor Johnson, who is, again, on... I feel bad because I retweeted somebody the other day who said Aaron Taylor Johnson is on a Oscar-worthy run, and we're throwing around the Oscar-worthy term a little hard. He is a brilliant actor, and he's doing brilliant work, but we're not giving Oscars out for Kraven the Hunter, you know what I'm saying? Maybe in this, but anyway, starring Aaron Taylor Johnson. Killian Murphy does not come back in this one, but I believe he is already confirmed to come back in the sequel, as well as the third one. He will have a pretty big involvement. I think Danny Boyle said that in an interview, where I read that somewhere, or maybe I'm making shit up. I have no idea. But yeah, 28 years later, takes place 28 years after the original one. We can see what the rage virus has done to Britain, and these guys are living on an island off of Great Britain, and they're just hanging out over there. They're good to go. They will cross a little land bridge to get to land. High tide keeps them out. Low tide allows them to go back, and they're just chilling. Off the rip, I do want to say this as far as an overwhelming umbrella to this movie review, and say that 28 years later, while yes, one of my most anticipated movies of the year, it's still a really weird movie. It's a really weird movie, and I don't know whether that's a good thing or that's a bad thing. This is not a bad movie by any means at all. But it is weird, and that is because the way that Danny Boyle directs things and writes things, it's weird. It's high-paced, very frantic editing, just like the original one. And the original one had its high-paced and frantic editing, and its weird, things that it did. It was filmed kind of grainy, and it was just kind of a weird viewing experience. And I'm not sure that the casual viewer who were not a fan of 28 Days Later going into this are going to be a big fan of 28 Years Later. I just don't think that's the case, especially when you get to like the end of this film and you're like, this is the most Danny Boyle thing I've ever seen, and Danny Boyle, and it's weird. It is 100% weird. And if you are going into, like, if you saw the trailer for this film not knowing what 28 Days Later is, and you go into this movie, my guess is that you're gonna draw a line. You're not, like, I don't know if you're gonna like this, because it's not that terrifying horror, like zombie apocalyptic, The Last of Us meets World War Z meets, you know, it's not that. It's not this creepy and scary, sure, like that they has elements of that. Like, it's not scary to me, maybe it's scary to you, I don't know. But again, on the other side of the coin, if you really do love 28 Days Later, you're gonna love this movie. Like, this is a stark-on sequel, and it's a great legacy sequel at that. This takes everything from the originals and brings it here in a really good, evolved, interesting way. And that's not even talking about, like, the soundtrack's great, the acting is great, everybody does a fantastic job. The actor who plays Spike, I don't know his name. I apologize. I don't have anything in front of me to look it up. And also the actress who plays the mom, Isla, I apologize. I don't have anything around me to look it up. Fantastic. And Aaron Taylor Johnson, while he is a big part in the trailers, he's not the main character of this movie. Spike is the main character of this movie. And they all do great. But that doesn't change the fact that this is still a weird movie. It's weird. It reminds me a lot of Barbarian. That's a terrible analogy, but when I'm talking about a trailer that was like hauntingly terrifying, sucks everybody into this movie, but it's completely something, and it's not completely different in a bad way. It's just, it goes in a route that the director and the writers saw the vision for that film, and it might not be exactly what everybody thought. So I think that it's going to, like, this movie will have a line. I think you're going to have a lot of people who are going to see the weirdness of this movie and are going to be like, what the shit was that? And then you're going to see a lot of people who see this weirdness of this movie and are going to be like, this is sick as fuck. Now, where am I on that line? I have no idea. Like, the frantic cutting and the high volume editing of Danny Boyle and the way he writes, I can appreciate the beauty in it and the filmmaking creativity because he does it in a way where it doesn't look like dog shit. However, you know, I don't know if that's for me particularly, and I'm sorry if you can hear like the air conditioner just whizzing away. Like, it is unbelievably loud, and it's getting louder because it is hotter than ball sack in St. Louis, Missouri. It's disgusting. It's absolutely brutal outside. So I think my air conditioner is working overtime to try and make this my house livable. So like, it's not a bad movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. Do I think it's like a phenomenal film? I don't know. Do I think it's a good legacy sequel? Absolutely. Like, this is the sequel to 28 Days Later. 100%. Cannot shit on that or talk about that in a negative light in any way. However, for me, like, when the writing does really weird shit that I don't, you know, and like multiple times during this film, I was watching it and I was watching it going like, what the fuck is going on? And it's, you know, but that's not bad. Doesn't necessarily mean it's bad in any way. I like what they did with the Infected was where you have alphas now. I think it's kind of, I chuckled a couple times that, you know, the big alphas in this movie, I believe the doctor called him Samson, is just some fucking jack dude with a foot-long cock running around trying to kill our main characters. So, you know, that's kind of weird, but I laughed. It was funny. And this movie has, you know, funny moments, and the way they evolve the Infected, so like your alphas are like just tanked, like strong as fuck, can rip your head off your body. And the way that they do, like the alphas do that, is that they prefer to literally rip your head out of your body and just beat you to death with somebody else's head. That's really cool. What else did I like about this movie? The set, I mean, you know, it's like it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful movie. The setting is all nice. It's all pretty and looks great. Like I said, every actor and actress does their job, particularly the actor who plays Spike and the actor who plays the mother. Really brilliant. Who plays Isla, and this is really brilliant as well. And Aaron Taylor Johnson, of course, is really great. But again, he's not in this movie. Like, he's in the movie quite a bit, but he's not the main character. The emotional beats of Spike and his adventure and trying to save his mom, that's the main driving focus of this film. Now, the mistakes that you make to get there is, you know, I don't know if I would take my sick mother out in this world. That is no hope. That is incredibly, horrifyingly dangerous. But hey, you know, and then the guy who plays the doctor that I can't remember his name. Again, all great, all really cool stuff, all played great. I guess I didn't get into spoilers as much as I thought I would. You're gonna see a lot of people, if you're on social media, you're gonna see a lot of people talking about the ending of this movie. And the ending of this movie right up Weird Alley, which is, you know, kind of like, yeah, that checks out in a way. That makes sense. But it's world building, so I get it. But it's still, it is weird. You have to look at it and go, it's weird. Art can be weird. This is art. And this is really beautiful, great art. But it's weird. And I think you have to go into this movie with an open mind. And you have to go into it knowing that if you love the originals, I think you will love this movie. I think so. If you don't know anything about the originals, go into it with an open mind and see what might get out of it. On one hand, I want to say that it is really good. It's gotta, you know, but on the other hand, it is weird. Like, it's definitely weird. So, you know, I don't know. If you've seen Barbarian, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Did you also think that this movie was kind of weird? And are you excited for the sequel? Are you going to go back to watch the sequel and the third installment of this movie? Because even though I thought this one was weird, I'm going to go watch the next couple movies. I'm about it. Like, I'm bought into this. So let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below, like this page, subscribe to Forever Unlikely. Check out our website, www.foreverunlikely.com, to see some stuff we're working on for the future. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, adios, and bye-bye.